sick fucking wubs, dude. So I already have some like 140-ish drums in here just chilling. And then I just wrote in a super simple bass line, and I'm using some velocity here, and we'll come back to that in a second. And all I have here is just a CRM patch with a little bit of the Ableton sidechain. And you can hear that it is just the regular old init preset right now. But we can get a really cool kind of bassline, 140 bassline going really quickly. And for this, we can go to digital, add seconds. And right away, if we start messing with the wavetable position, that's like 90% of the sound, pretty much. But to give it, a little more customizability, we're gonna attach the LFO to the wavetable position. So already we're starting to get somewhere. And we're just gonna pull down the wavetable position so it's not so intense. So that sounds pretty sweet already, but I don't necessarily like that it just keeps doing the same LFO, shape over and over again. So we'll just take off the BPM. So now we have it completely off grid. This is what's going to give that weird flumy off grid kind of sound. And you could totally just slap a macro onto this, you know what I mean? And just automate this in Ableton if you wanted to. But we're going to do it a slightly different way. So we're going to actually attach the velocity to the rate and just dial something in close to this. Essentially, you're going to want your slowest LFO rate to be here on the left. That seems about good for me. And then the highest one we'll put up around here. You really don't need a lot in this situation. And you can hear it already starting to move because of the velocity that I have written in here. So if we just take all of these, turn the velocity down. You can hear it's going really slow. And if I bring the velocity up, it's going to be going quickly. And it's like almost doing a triplet thing, but it's a little faster than triplets. And that's kind of what gives this a technique like a cool vibe, is that you can kind of go in between notes and you don't have to necessarily stay off grid, but you don't have to think about it. You can kind of just move the velocity around and go with whatever sounds good to you. You don't have to necessarily be thinking, okay, triplets here and then a dotted quarter thing here and whatever. You can just feel it in the moment and kind of stay in that flow state. So I always like doing kind of a low thing on one. So we'll do a slow one on one, and then let's just mess with it and see kind of what feels right. Okay, so I'm really liking how that's sounding. That sounds very plastic and rubbery, but in a cool way. But say if I just want different variations of that, all I got to do is go back to our LFO rate and change it, and you just will instantly get different patterns. And I mean, there's like basically infinite possibilities with just using this one knob and changing the
modulation range.
I mean, you could just sit here and do this all day. At least I could. But say we want to spice up this patch a little bit. I'm thinking we'll put the LFO onto our noise level just a little bit. And we will go ahead and also put it on the distortion, but we're going to put it on the drive. So when it's lower, it will be pretty clean. And then we're going to want to clip it distort it pretty hard when it gets to the top here. So that should sound kind of cool. So it's a little gritty now. I'd probably go in there and do a little bit of stuff to that. But that is the general idea of this technique, is to just use velocity to change LFO rates. And another thing that might be cool to do is just put a macro to the wavetable position, and then you could slowly automate this during the arrangement, kind of like this. And like my other videos, this is a really simple technique that kind of unlocks a bunch of different sounds that you can make. And, you know, that's kind of the whole point of why I like making these videos on my channel. Okay? Sue me! Okay? So subscribe if that sounds good to you. Anyways, bye.